Hello, I'm Darren. Nice to meet you. I'm a singer songwriter for the project. Darren, share the same name, obviously. Um, so I just want to do a video, just talk a bit about the project, what it's about. I'm a bit new to this stuff, but if it becomes regular, hopefully I get a bit better at this. Um, but yeah, so this project is just a chance for me to release some music again. I've been doing music for uh, a long time, been in a band and stuff like that, but had more important things to do over the last few years. In particular, raise my little boy, and just recently, due to I think the ease at which you can make music these days and collaborate with people, um, I thought I had some ideas as well, and I thought I'd give it a go. But my background is I'm a guitar player and a bit of bass, a bit of keyboard, and that's it. And so this was a fun chance to first of all try writing some lyrics and then try to turn those into songs, and then to try and learn to sing, which has been the most challenging thing. um, so yeah, previously I would play guitar and I would do some backing vocals live and a little bit in the studio. But anyway, I thought these videos could be a fun way to do some flashbacks and talk about what's coming up and what's going on. So flashback, here we go. So this is a video on the right here, The Glass Room. So this is the last band I was in. So this video is came out in 13 years ago. There you go, and has amassed a total of 4 likes and 376 views. But no one said it was easy doing music. But yeah, so here I am, baby me on the left here. We got Richard on the drums in the background there, Craig on the right, and Scott singing. So I'll give you a little taste of this. Enough of that. So yeah, that was a song we did called Imperium. It wasn't a planned music video. These great guys came along to rehearsal studio, do a photo shoot, and they offered to try and record a video. They did the whole thing for free. They used to support local bands in the area we were in. So those guys were fantastic, and they did this cool little video for us, and it was awesome. You can see there, I got a great drummer, Richard, and a great singer, Scott, and then Craig, who came on towards the end to just help add another dimension to the guitar. And yeah, Scott, I just thought he was a fantastic singer, and Richard's such a great drummer, and it was really fun playing with those guys. So what I'm doing now is a totally different thing, because you don't have that fun aspect of like getting in a studio or playing live, especially, which is kind of the reason for doing this video, because I started to feel like, oh, this is a thing that doesn't really have much of a voice. It's just, there's no connection. So I was doing the best I could to kind of deal with that. But yeah, so that was fun. No blast from the past, baby me. But yeah, so some updates of what's going on. So yeah, this all started. I just wanted to. I had like an idea for a song, and which was Splinter, and I just thought I'd put it out, and it would be fun. It would be so cool to do a song again, and it was just originally I just put it out there, and it was kind of like it was sort of a demo in that, like, it had me on vocals, and I'd written the music, and then for the drums I'd just kind of sampled Richard's old drum kit from like 3 different songs that we had in the past, where I had all the outtakes and all the sound checks with the drums and stuff, getting the snare hits and stuff, and he was just really great on the drums, and it was just fun to kind of bring him into a song, and it was still very much like if I was to write another Glassroom song, how it felt it would be, and so that was cool. And then the vocals. So obviously it was I had this idea where there was like a dual voice like project where there was different characters and stuff like that, and the other half was a female voice. So originally I put it out there, and the vocals were kind of a mix between like AI created vocals and like Audemy, where you can do like a voice replacement, so you can turn a voice into a female voice. It's kind of like a mix of that, and I only needed it for one verse and a pre-chorus. And yeah, I thought it would be like a lot of my stuff in the past, you know, like 300 views in 13 years, whatever. And I think quickly I'd hit 1,000 listens on Spotify, and I was just like blown away because I just didn't expect that. I just, you know, it was just fun to do a song. And for me, that, I know that's not big numbers for a lot of people, but for me that felt like maybe like validation, or it just felt like really nice that maybe some people connected with it. And when I looked on a dashboard, I could see people saved it and people listened again. So I was just like, oh geez. So then the project took a different, I felt like it went from being a demo to like, there's some responsibility here, like give the song its proper form. So I reached out. So recently I did an audio replacement. I snuck a new mix of the song. So I redid my vocals because, like I say, my background isn't a singer. So although I think it was probably the best sounding one I did, I don't think, like in the pre-chorus and stuff like that, I'm just trying to emulate singers I've heard. So there was an accent, and I think it was really my voice. So I redid the pre-chorus, the chorus, both choruses, and then I brought in a real female vocalist. I found this Samantha here. So she's from this band here, Lightwave, and I've been listening to them a lot after I found her, and they were just fantastic. You listen to her voice; it was just perfect. She's doing this heavy music with this band, but then she has this kind of really, there's something about the voice where it was just, that was exactly what I was looking for, and it was really nice to hear her mellow voice against this heavy music. So I just played a little bit of them because I really recommend listening to them. I tried to link it in Spotify, but I don't know why it doesn't show up, but here you go. Quit telling me I better seize the day. Sure, I'm self-assured, but you're just a fake. Smile, yeah, you're walking on thin ice, 'cause this masquerade that you portray's just an empty paradise. So go ahead and spit your words to say my name, just a cheap imitation, we are not the same. You wanna start a fire, I'll be the flame. It's time to watch you burn. If you're gonna walk around like you own the place, then I guess it's up to me to finally set you straight. Rise up, you can kick me to the curb, but I know the truth. Yeah, so as you can hear, she's awesome, and I was just really lucky. You know, some of these, there's not much money in music. Like even if you're big, right? If you're pretty big, it's not like a full income. So some of these people out there, they're trying to get more work, and I was so glad to reach out with her, and she gave me a good price to do some stuff, and yeah, she was pleased to work on the project, and she's going to be in a few songs. Really excited to hear how that pans out. But I think if you just listen to Splinter, like, I think she did a great job, you know, and yeah, it was just something about her voice was so perfect for it, and I was really pleased with the job that she did. So happy. But obviously that's not the only song, so I'm trying to work towards an EP. I had this idea for like a story, like an EP, a bit like a concept EP. So there's a kind of story, there's characters, there's a hidden meaning, but I'm definitely a fan of not explaining that stuff. I think, you know, when I grew up listening to music, there wasn't the internet. You couldn't, like, I couldn't even find the lyrics if there wasn't linear notes with the album. You're just having to guess the lyrics, and half the time I'd mishear them, and they would just mean something to me. And I think that's the best thing with music. Like, if someone listened to it and it meant something personal to them, that would be awesome. So that's what I would love to happen. But yeah, so there's other voices, and yeah, I'm learning a lot about my voice, and I did the track Loops, which was I kind of wanted to have this slight 80s ballad feel to it, so I was kind of you know, I knew I wanted to project, but then it came to the next few songs, and I had some like really heavy songs, and as much as I tried, and I had really been trying to scream when I sing, you know, I just can't. That's not me. So I had to find someone else to get involved, and I found a guy from this band which I really recommend listening to. So so this band Decades, and he's in another band, a Holiday with Masha, I think it's called. But this band Decades, they're releasing stuff right now, and they're absolutely fantastic. So you can see they posted this a month ago, and I think you pronounce his name Ango. So listen to his vocals here. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love it. So he's helping me. So where I've, you know, I grew up listening to lots of heavy music too, and Killswitch Engage is like a favorite of mine. But everything from Metallica, you know, all that kind of stuff. So to be able to have those shifts in emotions and those angry parts is really important to me. And I just wasn't able to put that down. So I think that was the fun thing about this project. It's not like a static group of members. It's not just me now. It's just finding people to collaborate with and putting cool songs together. So working with the singer from Decades is awesome. And as you can hear, I was just after someone who could like scream and stuff. He's from Indonesia, I think. So I found him. I was like, yeah, this guy can. I listened to his showreel, and I was like, wow, this guy's got it. And the more I was listening to his stuff, I had to go back and say, look, I need you to sing more. Like double up on the clean bits and stuff, because his voice is just great, right? So I'm super excited to be working with him. And yeah, and sometimes you think things are good, and so I'd released the song Wake Up, which is the third song, and I had already rewritten it once. I'd recorded it a bunch of times over 2 or 3 days, and there was something about it, like I was clearly like I think I'd heard my old songs, and I was like, I need to get better, I need to get more professional, the takes need to be better, need to be more on key rather than trying to fix it afterwards, more controlled. And I think what he had ended up with, I just wasn't happy with. So it's still out there now, but redoing it. So Anger from Decades is going to be on it with me, and rework the lyrics and rework the music too. So I don't know if people do like the old one. I could make it as a B-side maybe or something. But yeah, that's going to get redone. So yeah, it's just an interesting story there. It's up there now, or for a short while, and then I'm going to get rid of it and redo it. And in between, like I said, this EP was a story, so that track was really important. I wanted every song to sound great. But I was just never completely happy with it, and I couldn't erase the song because it was really important. So now I think the new version will be really cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to finishing that. When I started this, I thought, you know, by the summer this would all be done, and it's like, yeah, I'm getting towards the summer and I've done 2 tracks and I'm having to redo the third, and I think there's like including like interludes and stuff, there's 9 in total, so it's not quite going to the pace I wanted. But yeah, nevertheless. But I think if anyone's starting out singing, this was a good clip I'd seen from Telly Smith, which is a band I was trying to find good vocalists, and I'm always like listening to new music. And this guy, he was kind of, I had no idea. Like I had one of his tracks in a playlist for ages, and I didn't really realize the band, the Word Alive, and I didn't realize, and I never really went and checked him out any deeper, and he's absolutely great, and he did a good podcast where he said something, and which is one of the reasons I went back and tried to give it another go. So I think it's this video here. Yeah, here we go.
The thing you have to like learn is to not listen to what you're hearing, but it's what you know that the technique is, and then when you put that through a microphone and you have compression, know that it's going to sound good.
You gotta
exactly.
have faith in it. That makes sense.
So like once I started doing that, it just unlocked me doing a lot more. I opened up my range and like fluctuation and pitch just from being like, well, I'm just gonna trust that this is gonna sound good for them and not be in my head about it. And I think that's like most things in life. When you're too in your head, you're like holding yourself back, even if you don't realize it.
Yeah, I think that was the turning point. I was just listening to some of his stuff, what he was saying about singing and things like that, and listening to some clips, and I heard that, and I was like, you know what? I think that might be the problem with that song. Other than the bits of the writing I wasn't happy about, when I listened to it back, I was just like, I don't understand how I've practiced it so hard and tried so hard, yet it sounds worse than the previous two songs. I think that's what it was. I was so in my head about trying to sing it in the right way. And so I think I went back and I re-recorded vocals the other day. Just in this room here, it's just like a home thing. And I think second take, when I listened back, I was like, damn, it just sounds better already. I wasn't thinking about it. I was just trying to perform it, trying to put the emotions across in different words. That was it. I was only really thinking about, like, I want to deliver this phrase in this way, and just don't think about it. Pretend you're like singing it live or something like that. So much happier with it. So I was really thankful for that. And I think he's a really great singer. So definitely recommend checking out his stuff. And speaking of like connecting with people and trying to make some kind of connection with the project, so I was thinking about different ways to do that. So I've on the old Spotify, I'm presume most people listen on Spotify. It's certainly where all the streams seem to come from. So on there, I'll be putting some different playlists out of different things. So I've got one at the moment. The first playlist is like inspiration. So it's just tracks I'm listening to recently that are inspiring me in some kind of way. And some of those are inspiration for future songs that are coming out. Some of them are just, songs that have always inspired me to make music and things like that. So there's some really fun songs on there. The songs from like 20 years ago, songs from this year. Really great stuff. I'll keep adding to that. Just music I like hopefully you like it too. And I'll probably do another one which is like people I collaborate with or something, if this project's lucky enough to keep going. And I think just maybe a bit more about the project itself. It's been it's been interesting. So not being able to play live is something I was really thinking about, because it's not like it was back in the day. Like being in a band's a funny thing. I remember we were taking it pretty seriously in the Glass Room in terms of like just wanting to put out good music and stuff. So we tried everything, and we tried to get on good shows. We tried to talk to labels, and a lot of that was super disappointing in a way. Like the favourite shows I played were the smaller shows. The favourite times I had with the band were when we weren't talking to a label. I was trying to shop like a record or a song. And those interactions were just depressing. I was trying to think. I'm going to quickly do a search because there's a story I've got of this. Okay, so like an example of like me realising like being in a live band, as much as I loved it, I had to give it up at one point because it's the kind of way you're treated that when you're low down on the bill and things like that. So you would get told time and time again, like, we need you there at this venue, middle of fucking nowhere, 5:30 p.m. at the latest, yeah? All your kit set up, ready to go. So it's like, right, like, it's a 2-hour drive, so everyone's taking the afternoon off work. Yeah, we all got bills to pay, we're doing jobs, we're earning no money from these gigs. We're travelling down there in a little crew in cars and stuff like that, unloading stuff, getting there super early, sometimes 3 p.m. And then you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait. You're told you're going to get a sound check and it's coming and all this and all this and all this. And you end up sitting there. I've sat there from 3 p.m. till 9 p.m. and told, right now you're going up, and they just plug you in. And I used to try and control it as much as possible. So I had like a box, a Line 6 box thing that would plug straight into the PA. So I could really... I took out the uncertainty of the mics and stuff like that, and I could override the sound guy with the volume and things. And but you'd have no idea of the levels or anything like that. The drummer could hear you, and you're just like, damn. And it wasn't just a one-off; it happened again and again and again, and you're just like, God, it's exhausting. And I think I got to the stage where, like, I had more important things to be worrying about. And it was the same with labels as well. So we met this label So I went down with Richard and Scott from the Glass Room. We went all the way to London. We sat with this guy. He gave us this big spiel, and when we turned up, it was just, it's just always weird. Like, the guy's like, we sit down and we try to look like we're in a band, and I really had a funny feeling about this guy when I was talking to him. Like, he really wanted young acts. You had to be young. So I think we were like 28. And I said to the guys, I said, we were 30 or something. I said, say we're 26 or 25. I'm like, why? I'm like, trust me. So the first thing comes, we sit down, he just looks at us all, and he's got me and Scott, we're dressed like we're in a band, and then you've got Richard, he's just left his job, he's got his shirt and tie on. And the guy's like, how old are you guys? And we're like, 25. He's like, oh, okay. And he sort of gives us his look and he goes, not spring chickens then. Not spring chickens. You're like, geez. And he's talking to us, and he's, yeah, but you just had these vibes. Like, he asked us all our names, and then Richard goes, yeah, I'm Richard. He goes, Richard, that's a girl's name, isn't it? So it's just bizarre. And then he gives us this speech about like what they want from you, and this is actually, it sounds like a scam, but this is so normal now. Like, where you're fronting half the costs, and you're paying the recording, you're paying this, and you're paying that part of the promo, and then we want you available this much, and you're going to this many shows, and you have to be, and like, I don't want to hear about other responsibilities. You need you there doing this. At the drop of the hat, like, nothing's more important. And you kind of get it. You got to be hungry, but then seen how that circuit works, of like, yeah, the drop of a hat, I'll go and I'll drive 3 hours to sit in a room for 6 hours on my own, when actually there's people that need me in the world. And I don't want to be spending my time doing that when we're just waiting around and you're not even getting a sound check. And so yeah, that was one thing. But then and then the gigs as well. I said like the small gigs were the best gigs, and like, geez, like, I really mean that. So the really small gigs were the worst ones, where you're in a pub, all the lights are on, and there's 6 people in front of you, and you play your way that you play. So I used to jump about as a guitar player, and Richard's smashing the drums, Scott's doing his thing, and then there's like 6 blokes looking at you. You're just like, oh man. And but there was like a community. So there's a good community of bands in those kind of small gigs, lots of like great artists and people just having fun. So that was good. And the slightly bigger ones, like, okay, it's a pub or it's a little venue, and there's a little bit of a crowd. Those are super fun, and those are super great. But you used to be fighting, like, trying to get on a bill with someone, and then we got on a bill with a band called Mallory Knox. Fuck knows if they're still around. But like, I was stoked, so happy to be on the bill with them. I had like I think it was like an EP they had out or something really great. Turned up, met the guy who was selling the merch. He was super nice. I think he was following the band around or something, and band seemed nice enough, and said, like, oh, we're gonna go out, try and do a good job for you guys, and warm the crowd up. And I know they didn't select us, it was selected by the venue, but it was just like an honor to be on that list. And then there was it was like it was a band I hadn't heard before. It was like a local kind of, like, they were trying to do like punk music, and I was sitting backstage and I was just watching the band. They're just doing their thing and they're growing and just loving it, like, it's rough around the edges and it's punk, whatever. And I just saw these guys from Mallory Knox just taking the piss, just like imitating them as if they were a joke. And it's just like, yeah, guys, like, you started there, we all started there, and that's a real shame to kind of see them act in that way. So so we're so you can't fuck with Mallory Knox that much. They were in Kerrang the week before. They're this big band. You're never going to see them again. But the venue were treating them really nice. Like, so they brought them all out pizzas. They had bottles of like Jägermeister, and the band were busy doing their thing. And it was this backstage kind of bit, and they brought these pizzas out. And I remember, I think it was me, Scott, and Richard. We just ate as much of that pizza as we possibly fucking could, and took the alcohol, stole their alcohol, and it was just like a fuck you, just just the way it was. And it was a bit of fun. I don't know if those guys are still around. I was like really into them until I saw them, and I was like, yeah, you know what, not so great. Maybe we've got to be in it together. Some of what's coming up, so I don't know exactly what. So I'm just gonna kind of try and work on the music as best as I can, as quickly as I can, with it sounding good. But one thing I'm kind of excited to do is to try and, although I can't play live, I'm going to try and do like a live studio video thing, and in some way maybe collaborating with the other people on the project in some way, you know, like record your part live. So it's like a live studio thing. I'll mix it together, you know, just one take, have it as like a live video or something, and put that out maybe with the next song. I think that would be like really fun to try and do. I'd seen some clips of people doing a similar thing, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give that a go. I think that might give a bit of the band feeling back to it, which I think would be fun. But yeah, I'll try and do these videos if there's something to update on, and hopefully I get a bit better at them. If you have any questions or you want to ask anything, feel free to do that. And otherwise, like, hopefully you like the music. But yeah, when there's updates or something interesting like flashback stuff, I might do a video. What else was I going to show? Yeah, something else I wanted to say about music, because I showed this to my son the other day. It's just a great example of if you're trying to do music and stuff like that, and like what success it looks like to you. Like, definitely this project for me is just about, like, it would be so cool to just put some music out, and if like a few people like it, then you know, if they like really liked it, played it multiple times, that would mean everything. And I think you can get carried away with play counts and stuff like that. And for me, it was just like if a song hits 1,000 plays, if 1,000 people listen to it, or 500 people listen to it twice, whatever, that's like, that to me, that's huge. And I know those are tiny numbers to some people, but I think sometimes people need reminding of, you know, what 100 or 1,000 people look like. And I really love this video here, so I follow this.
You can ask the flowers, I sit for hours, telling all the bluebirds, the bill and coo birds. You can ask the flowers.
Yeah, so that really like brings home, like, damn, like imagine just 100 people watching you do something. Like if you're on YouTube and you got 100 people follow you, that's killer, right? And then like 1,000 people, you see it. Imagine the fact those 1,000 people just watching you in person is crazy. So the other day, I think Splinter had 3,000 plays, and I think in total I had 5 across all the songs that were there, 5,000. For me, I just think, wow, 5,000 people is mental. That's so cool. So, but I think sometimes, yeah, people just need to see that. That's a great video, I think, to show people, especially if someone's struggling and they're like, oh, you know, I need 5,000 followers to get monetized, whatever it is. It's just like, dude, like, if you're doing it for the right reasons, think about what those numbers look like first, and then, yeah, worry about money or things like that later. Yeah, so a great reminder, great thing to end on. And like, if I do more of these, I'll see you in the next one. Something I forgot to say about how the project started originally, and why I'm awkward at this stuff, and what the whole thing was meant to be. So originally, my whole idea was like, I'll add some of their songs to the inspiration thing, but to my inspiration playlist. Like, I used to listen to some bands like Sound of Animals Fighting, I think was the one where the guys all wore masks, they were anonymous and stuff like that. And I thought, coming back into music a little bit later on, like, it would be cool for people not to judge you the way you look or age and things like that. It'd be just cool to put some music out. So that was my idea. Like, I'd just be anonymous. I won't show my face. You know, don't worry about any of that. Just put out good songs. People don't like them and take the piss. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And I can write about what I want. Don't have to worry what people think or try and interpret something the wrong way. So I was like, that's cool. So that's what I'll do. I'll just do that. And then I did not realize, like, a few things. First of all, that there was like 4 million like pure AI projects that are just kind of faceless, and getting mixed in with that algorithm and all of that. And the other thing is this, like, how connected things are anyway. So you're sitting there with this like faceless band. The only thing is, it's like, this is one song. No one's ever even heard you sing any before anyway. So that's there, and you think that's cool. You're not linked to it. I don't follow it. Nothing. I wasn't that careful about the name, you know, Darren. But other than that, I couldn't think of a band name. Other than that, it's just sitting there. Just push that out. Hopefully some people find it. Next thing, text of someone. I don't know, you're making music again. Oh, that's quite cool. And you're like, that, like, how? You know what? And with all the pressure, I was just like, how do I make it look like a real project with real people? How do I keep it anonymous? And I just got that, like, what's the point? Like, everyone that, you know, that was important to me, like, found out about it anyway. And I just like, you know what? Like, make it a bit more real then, and it might be more fun, and it might encourage more people to get involved with the project. So originally it started off with this, like, anonymous project, this mysterious anonymous project. And, yeah, that did not work. So, but yeah, it's not called Darren. It's not called my full name. It's just called Darren. It's just, I've just kept that name, Darren Dot, because you know, just Darren was taken, obviously, and so I grabbed that on Spotify, and yeah, that's that. So that's a little bit of the origin. I forgot to say earlier.